Howdy folks, what's up? It's Bradu, and I'm on day 51 of 100 days of sketch cards. I'm having some technical difficulties. It took me several tries to get this recording, and I'm not quite sure why. Anyway, before I get to drawing and stuff, I was going to recap a little bit about this morning. I already did an art cast with a few other artists on Jeff Lafferty's channel, the Artist Working Hangout, which they do weekday mornings. So if you want to check that, go to YouTube Jeff Lafferty, and it's his daily video. I think it's Working Hangout 182 maybe was today. And it was poor planning on my part. I've been saving these two to do an art cast myself of them, but I did them on that show this morning, not really thinking. So this is what I worked on. Little Russell Wilson and Anthony Davis. These are for Collector Crate, which I've mentioned before. They have a pretty cool service where you sign up for either whatever sport you want, baseball, basketball, or football. And it's like, it starts at I think about $30 a month. And you'll get an assortment of trading cards from your chosen sport. I think you can actually pick a team too, and then you'll get primarily stuff from that team. But one of the things you'll get is a Collector Crate exclusive sketch card print. So like one of the ones I did in the past for them, for football, Emmett Smith. Is that who that is? Hope so. Drawing a blank. Peyton Manning. LeBron James. Mickey Mantle. Derek Jeter. I don't know where my Michael Jordan is. I got a Michael Jordan too. So this will be my third month doing Collector Crate cards. So these, which I'll actually do a couple touch-ups, but these two that I just showed you will be in next month's Collector Crate if you're doing basketball or football. And I'll draw the baseball one later. But anyway, I've been meaning to do an art cast of those because I thought it would be cool to have an art cast video to put on a football and or basketball forum. Because I did that for baseball and it went over pretty well. Working on the Gypsy Queen cards. So today I will be drawing Ronda Rousey on Leaf Artist Proof cardstock. I wonder, Leaf changed the way they do artist proofs a couple of years ago, and that's about when I worked on their sets. So initially I had to send in an artist proof after I was finished with it, and they would put a sticker on it to validate it. And I don't think they're doing that anymore. I think now that it's stamped artist proof right here, I think I just signed the back. I got the okay to draw Ronda. So anyway, this is a commission, and I really strongly considered doing it black and white. But I think I'm going to try color on this one and just wing it a little bit. Be a little bit of a different color scheme for me. But I kind of I toyed with Photoshop a little bit to get a color scheme idea. Actually, I don't think I even touched the color. I think I just did boosted up the contrast. If I do any Photoshop at all on my reference photos, that's usually it. I'll boost up the contrast and wherever it looks the nicest without losing detail is where I'll save it and print it up like that. And I think that's what I did here. And since I didn't desaturate, well, that's what I did. So here I desaturated, took out the colors. And here I just left it as is. And I was like, that might be kind of fun just to do a really hot as in temperature, primarily like yellows, reds, and oranges. Yeah, so I'm just going to kind of draw away here. Let's see how she turns out. Ronda, man, after her last fight, she has been like the hot item in UFC for sure, but I almost feel like just in sports. I had that Ronda artist proof from my Topps Bloodlines 2012 set. Somebody sold it for over $1,000 a couple weeks ago. I think that was like right after the big fight. Man, I've been waiting. So a couple weeks ago, I ordered a new, if you guys have been watching my videos, you saw my clip lamp broke in the middle of one of my videos. It snapped in half and broke off. And so I'm still using that same one, but it's broken. It doesn't clip onto the same spot that it was. I have to clip it onto like a really thin spot on my drawing board, so they'll stay. And I ordered this new one. Andrew Jones, I think, made the suggestion of getting it's like a clip for an iPhone. So it's a clip and then a long windy neck, and then you would clip your phone onto it. And I just figured that'll work better for my webcam because I'll be able to adjust the neck the way that I want it, I guess is the way to say it. So anyway, I'm making a short story long here. I ordered this like 2 weeks ago, and every day I've been waiting for it to show up so I can, get my new setup going. And I just got to thinking, like, how come it's not here yet? How come I haven't heard anything? And I went and looked it up. I ordered it off of Amazon, which I don't know if I've ever used Amazon before or not. I must have because I have an account. But I don't think it went through. I have no receipt or anything in either of my inboxes. I don't remember if I used PayPal or used a card, but I don't seem to see any evidence of an order to Amazon. I know what day I ordered it, and I think what happened is I was on my phone trying to order it. It was just kind of on a whim, and I clicked the link and clicked buy and put in my info or whatever, and I think it just never went through, and I didn't know until right now. I'm like, dang. So I guess I'm going to have to reorder it, which is kind of a bummer because I was excited to get it, especially this week. So I'm on spring break, and I think I will be doing a lot of drawing. Well, I know I'll be doing a lot of drawing this week. I think I will be doing a lot of art casting, is what I mean to say. I kind of goofed off this weekend. I had been doing so good on my 100 days of sketch cards, and I didn't really define what that meant, but I had a daily video going up, and I was drawing at least an hour every single day. Even an off day, I would get an hour of drawing done. Here and there. It might be 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and get, a few sketch cards started and maybe not get anything completed or whatever, but I would still draw an hour every day. And then Friday, I probably got that bare minimum done of about an hour. And then Saturday, oops. I've noticed that when I'm doing art casts, I say oops out loud if I don't like something I did. Saturday and Sunday, I did nothing. I did no drawing. So it's the first time, 2 times, in 50 days that I did not draw. And I think there's a multitude of reasons for it. I don't really have like a big excuse or anything. I think I knew it was spring break. I knew that I had the whole week off while my wife is at work, and I will be drawing a ton this week. I think I had no set deadlines for anything that I'm working on that I need to worry about. Those collector crate are going to be in next month, so I got to get them out in the mail this week. But that was just 3 cards, and the other set I'm working on Prospect Rush. is a good, those are due at the end of next month or something. So I got plenty of time on those too. So anyway, I just took the weekend basically to spend some quality time with my wife, relax a little bit. I went and played poker with some buddies that I've been wanting to do. They do like a monthly poker night, and it was only the second time I've gone, but I love doing stuff like that. But I didn't even shoot a video or anything. I'm going a little slow here. I'm a little hesitant on what colors to use. So I don't want to just use yellow, orange, and red. But the color scheme here is primarily that way. I'm trying to decide what to do for the darks here. I might go in with like this really dark brown. Let's just see what it does. That might work. This is Cashew. It's the darkest brown I own. I don't know if it's the darkest brown they have, but looks for me. Yeah, that would work, I think. So anyway, I took the weekend off, sort of inadvertently, and I'm not sure whether I should feel bad about that or not. Does that blow my 100 days? I mean, what was my 100 days? It's just I'm drawing sketch cards a lot for 100 days and tracking video evidence of it. So I don't know. I didn't take it like that. Like I didn't feel like, I screwed up my 100 days. It started out as a month of finishing a sketch card every day, and I did that. And then I just sort of turned it into a different direction of just, doing a lot of sketch cards and different things. And I also talked a lot about experimenting. This is an experiment here because I'm using a different color scheme than I have before. I've probably done something similar, but it definitely still feels experimental. But as pumped up as I was to do experimental stuff, I'm kind of getting away from that too. I'm not so sure I want to be spending my time on these blind experiments that won't necessarily lead anywhere. I don't know, I'm feeling conflicted about that, about my direction, I guess. I did actually do a little bit over the weekend, not drawing, but I spent an hour or two getting reference photos gathered and printed up and whatnot. So that helps. Haven't printed them yet, but I've got them organized and resized, so I'll print them up today actually, because I will be working on them this week. So I did those two this morning. The Artcast thing went a good 2 hours plus, 2 hours, 2.5 or something like that. And I really, for all my effort of trying to be drawing faster recently, I really dinked around on those. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was just talking to other artists, and I realized we were on there for a good, like I said, 2+ hours, plus there's a little bit of time off the air actually, but we're still on there BSing with each other. And I was like, man, I've been drawing for something like 4 hours, and I have these 2 cards done, and so that was not optimal, but I'm not in a huge rush either. I'm trying to get into the habit of doing things a little quicker. Ooh, that's pretty bold, going straight really, really dark like that. I wonder if I should go with this redwood color instead and then build up from that. I mean, it looks okay, but if I have a goof, it's going to bleed all over the place. This marker is one of my favorites, redwood. It's just like a really killer, like brown red. I use it a lot in shadow areas. This is going to be a little tricky because I bumped up the contrast so much, it's hard to see the details of the eyes. She obviously has like a lot of makeup going on in here and stuff. But this looks almost black in here, you know, with very little of the white of the eye showing. And it's tricky. I got to get those shapes just right to maintain a likeness. So that's kind of my goal with those, is keep the shapes accurate even if I can't see the details. I think I've mentioned something similar to that before when I'm just talking about like how to draw, basics of drawing from reference. That's pretty much the basics right there. Draw the shapes that you see. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit disoriented about having a couple days off and not even shooting a little video to say that I didn't do anything. It's like, man, where am I? I'm lost. I'm used to having my own daily update, tracking exactly where I am and what my progress is and everything. And I don't have that to go off of right now. So I'm like, what have I been doing? What did I do last? In fact, I had, in preparation to start this little art cast here, I had a little stack of cards lined up to show you guys. And I'm like, I can't even remember what I've shown, what I've posted on my website, what I did on art casts or whatever. I just feel really disorganized in that sort of way. And on that note, I've kind of been getting more and more disorganized in terms of how and when and where I'm posting up my artwork. Like, I finish up a sketch card and I take a picture of it with my phone, and then I post it onto my main Facebook page. Or maybe I'll post it straight to the Sketch Card Fanatics group, but not to my page. Or maybe I'll post it to my website, but not all three. And it's like, man, I got to get a system down so that I know exactly where it's posting. So, like, I just looked at my web page earlier today, and it's like, what the heck do I even have up there and not up there? I mean, I have to go through. I think what I need to go through is take out anything I've done in the last couple weeks, scan it, because scanning is the best way to put the artwork up, really. And then, you know, get them all organized and up on my website. I guess that's what I mean. I'm kind of babbling on about what I'm trying to say, but the bottom line is I'm doing it so many different ways that I don't even know if I have like the final finished cropped version up anywhere of stuff I've been doing recently. It's just kind of silly to do it that way, right? Got to be more organized. And also eBay and wherever else I want to be trying to post and or sell stuff. I just got to get all that stuff figured out. And right now I'm feeling a little lost in that regard. So I don't really want to draw over the artist proof stamp here. It's going to be a little tricky. We'll see though. I wonder if there's another orange I can use here. Ooh. Fluorescent? Is that too fluorescent? I don't know, maybe it'll be cool. Is that cool, guys? I hope so. Ooh, it's very fluorescent. Wow. Huh. Well, if I'm going to do that, I should try the fluorescent yellow. And is there a fluorescent red? I'm not even sure. Seems like there should be, right? Fluorescent pink I'm not going to do. I don't think I have a fluorescent red. That's alright. We'll go with it. The guy I'm doing this for, I guess he's watched at least some of my videos because he made a couple, just in talking to me, he made reference to a couple times things I had said or whatever. I thought that was kind of neat. I'm kind of getting more of that. I don't think I have a ton of like regular viewers, but I am getting people who are like, oh, you know, I saw bits and pieces of this or that, and cool, good job, whatever. Have some question, anything it is that they're taking out of it. It's kind of neat. That is fluorescent. Wow. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's too late to turn back now. I'm winging it. Like I said, experimental. Should give it some pop, right? Some pop. What else is on my mind going on with my art? Hang on 1 second. So I finally figured out that with my setup the way it is, if I go like this, my cards are straight on my table. But because my camera has to be at an angle now because it clips on the corner of my table, I just have to draw crooked. So I put them crooked on the table, and that way they straighten out on the camera. That seems to work out okay. So that's what I'm doing for right now. What's a good, maybe I need like honey? Alright, a little darker yellow in here. This isn't honey. Grabbed a different color, maize. That'll work though. It's a nice color. So I got a cool email today also, not email, a Facebook message from a sketch card collector. It was funny, I actually thought, when I first got the message, I was on my phone and I didn't see who it was from, and I thought it was a different guy that I've already talked to before. But it's actually a new person who tracked me down based on some of the sketch cards he had seen in non-sport sets. He mentioned the Walking Dead set. I think he does like Cryptozoic and stuff, but he was mainly a Hobbit collector. And so he was asking me if I'm going to have sketch cards in the Hobbit set coming up, and I am. So that was kind of a cool, unexpected surprise thing. So I think I have a potential customer for when that set comes out, and I'm able to sell my artist proofs there. It's a neat color, right? Taking shape a little bit. Gotta figure out what to do though for my oranges. It's tricky. I don't want to go too orange. I think kind of like what I did with the redwood. I think it's got to be a brownish orange. And that might be hard to find. Vermilion's a good color. Let's try it. Ooh, see, that's really red. That's a very red orange. Might work for some of it. I need a little bit lighter in there somewhere too, though. It's pretty bloody. This is actually probably one I shouldn't have tried to do an art cast of, but I'm in it now. Only because it's more experimental, and I've mentioned before, if I need to think about what I'm doing, it's harder to talk at you guys while I'm problem solving in my head. I think that'll work though for what I need here. Is that too red? Maybe. Can tone it down if I need to. This is, though, as I was talking about not doing experiments again, this is a good example of what I meant when I said I wanted to try experiments and different color combinations and stuff. I like this. This is kind of neat. Is it a little cliche, maybe, to do a color combination like this? But I don't really care about cliches. If it looks good, I like it. Rules are made to be broken, right? Like I mentioned, my painting instructor in college, he said, never paint with colors straight out of the tube. Well, but I like that. So, bite me. I'm not selling to art snobs in museums. I'm selling to people who like trading cards. You know? They don't care if I'm painting on black velvet or doing something corny or cheesy. They want it to look like Ronda Rousey. As long as it does, probably pass the test. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe there's nothing wrong with this anyway. A little bit lighter orange. We'll try chrome. So this week my goal is to get a lot done. As in, so I got 2 done this morning. This would be 3. I'll probably get a couple more done tonight. If I can get like 4 or 5 cards done each day, I'll be in pretty good shape, I think. And that'll be a mix of commissions and stuff and set work, though right now I've only got the 1 baseball set, which is kind of a relief, I think, in a way. And just whatever I feel like throwing out there also is totally possible. Like I said, I'm in the process of gathering a bunch of reference stuff. I've got about 3 or 4 pages worth of reference that I'm going to have printed up today. And that'll give me plenty to work with for the whole week, pretty much. Oh, let's get this background edge here. Go right in with redwood. I like that. And I might even go to, what happens if I go cashew over redwood? It should be fine, because you can usually go darker over light, but not the other way around. Yeah, see, that works fine. Let's do that on the other side, too. Can you see that upside down? Like a little upside down drawing. Don't want to draw too much on my reference photo there. Oh. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The Melvins. Is that work going from redwood to vermilion? Vermilion to 1. Maybe. Good enough. And then maybe a little lighter over the leaf symbol, so we don't cover it up too much. That's pretty darn orange, though, so I'll work my way back into it. I'm going to grab one more in between. Cadmium orange. drawing off screen. Cool. Excuse me. Goodness, how rude. Maybe I'll keep that color out. I guess I should, any color I use, I should keep it out here, right? It's silly not to. Oh, do I want to try and get pink in those lips? I don't think I do, even though I see it. Another thing on my to-do list, and maybe this week, because this will be a good week for it, is to figure out how to open up a video in Windows Movie Maker or whatever program like that and edit it so that I can do like a sped up, like a speed drawing or whatever the heck it's called, where, in other words, like I wouldn't be talking to you guys, I just draw this for an hour straight or whatever and then speed it up into a 3-minute video. That's a really popular thing to do, and I think that would get me some new views. I don't want to do a ton of those. I'm way more interested in this type of thing where I'm drawing and talking. But having said that, I would like to do at least one to get it out there. I'm thinking anything like that that brings in a few new viewers couldn't hurt, right? That's why I like doing a baseball sketch card for the baseball group. I'd like to do a basketball and a football one, put it on those forums. I'd like to do a non-sports one, put it on those forums. This one, my biggest fan base probably is the UFC collectors, but I haven't done any UFC stuff on an Artcast or anything, so I figure they might like to see this. That's why I'm doing this one on an Artcast. And I wanted to wait a second. It's risky. Sometimes going over one color with another, if it's a little bit, like I said, you can't really work light over dark. And sometimes it kind of like bubbles over, and that's what I was afraid of would happen there. It didn't, thankfully. But it easily could have. So I'm just going to skip the fact that I know her lips should be pinker. I'm going to keep it with the orange-red theme there for sure. This is kind of neat, right? She looks just fiery. And this guy also, he's ordered, well, he bought a Ronda Rousey larger drawing, the pastel drawing I did years ago. He bought it off eBay. And since then, he's been like, now I want this next, and he's got a lot of ideas. And sometimes people like that, I've noticed, can't keep up with their ideas. Like I had a baseball collector who ordered like 5 or 6 things from me, but he kept changing what he wanted. And then he even paid half up front on a bunch of stuff. And then I think he just got in over his head and bailed out and disappeared completely. And never did end up buying those pieces. He had paid half, so I ended up reselling them again for cheaper than I would have, but overall I ended up making more than I normally would because I had half up front and then about, I don't know what it was, I don't remember, 2/3 of what I would normally charge. Let's just pretend. So anyway, what I'm getting at is this guy who's bought this has all these ideas and he's real excited about them. And it's cool to have a fan like that, a collector who's a repeat customer. That's what I'm going for. A repeat customer is good to have. And so this guy seems pretty legit and fired up with all these ideas, and so far so good. And I'm hoping that, if I keep doing work that he likes, that he keeps getting more. It's awesome. It's a good feeling as an artist to sell something to somebody and have them like it enough that they come back for something else. This is a weird song, huh? Can you guys even hear my music? I'll have to find out when I play it back, but I've been trying to figure out what to do for music. I'd like to have a random playlist going. I think I told you guys, though, I have like so much music on this computer that I haven't gone through and made playlists or whatever. So if I put it on completely random, it'd be like all this crap I hate. Boys to Men or NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, all that stuff even is on this computer just because the disc that my brother gave me, or the drive that my brother gave me, has like everything on it. And it's so overwhelming to think about trying to go in and delete stuff or make a playlist out of it or whatever. So in other words, in order to do something, I've got to pick a band. And so I picked Sigur Rós, I think is how you say it. They're pretty awesome, mostly instrumental rock, similar to Mogwai, if you've heard of Mogwai. That was another one I would have picked for something like this. Though I don't know if I have them on here, which is weird. Is her chin too long? I think it is. I think we gotta go in. I'll have to check it upside down. Oh, I know what I was doing the mouth. Doing the mouth. So anyway, I picked Sigur Rós for not playing hear it. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter if you can hear it or not. It's nice for me to have some background noise.
It's not too distracting. If I'm not doing an art cast, I have the TV on usually. I'm kind of itching to watch Firefly. I watched it way back when, but never paid enough attention to get into it like a lot of people do. But I've watched a couple episodes into it with my wife now more recently. And even still, I want to rewatch those ones. So that was my plan, is to rewatch them while I'm drawing. So I'm sort of half taking it in. Okay, now let's get risky. Gotta go into the dark eyes. I'm really hoping to complete this, or really come close to completing it on the, I'm gonna have to go back on this art cast, but like I keep saying, it's really hard to concentrate when you get down to the final details. And I'm trying to talk or tell stories or whatever, too. I'm not telling any stories anyway, am I? You guys want a story? Well, tough shit, I don't have one in my head right now. Dang. I can't seem to get a thin enough line there. Still pretty close, isn't it? Isn't it? There's Ronda's distinguishing feature. The mole. Mole. That's rude. Hope she doesn't watch this. Actually, I hope she does. That would be awesome. I'll go in the white. I'll go in with the whites for those individual hairs that really, really show up in the against the background there. I think that will look good. Ooh, I don't like that. Don't worry, you guys can't see it. There's a little, it's not even there really, but when you're using Copic markers and you've used a black liner pen, the Copics can kind of pull out the black and mix in with the colors, and you get these weird smudgy looking things that I don't like. And nobody does. Who would? So you don't want that to happen. That's looking pretty close, isn't it? Pretty close to done. I'm definitely gonna keep tinking with it for a little while longer, but that's not bad for 40 minutes on air, like, you know, live talking. Cool. My phone's making a lot of noise, but it just means I got an email. Probably fantasy hockey. That's another reason I didn't get a lot of drawing done this weekend. I'm a big fantasy hockey nerd. I'm a big nerd in a lot of ways, but I've been doing fantasy hockey since I was about 18. And not like the type of fantasy sports that are popular now where you got like a Yahoo league or whatever. I do those too, but not for money, just really piddly fun leagues. But I do sim leagues, so like I'm running a league that's set in 1959, and I'm running a league that's set in 1975. And we just did our draft for the 75 league, so I've been setting all that up. And I actually really have fun with that stuff. You know, man, like bench clearing brawls. So it's like it's a text-based video game called Action PC Hockey, and Appa Hockey is the other one I use. I use both those. If you don't know anything about fantasy sports, like fantasy sim sports, it's like doing an EA Sports game, like Madden or NHL game or whatever, and playing a season and drafting your team and all that jazz and setting your lineup, but then just hitting sim instead of actually playing the games, if that makes any sense. But this Action PC game has bench clearing brawls in it, so I've got like, you know, Dave the Hammer Schultz is in the league wreaking havoc, getting 30 fights, and they'll sometimes have 7 or 8, 9 fights at the same time on the clock. I just think it's awesome. I know it's not for everybody. A lot of people just don't get it all. Like, what do you get out of this? It's just numbers on the screen. But I have a good imagination, so I see it happening in my head. So anyway, I spent some time on setting up the draft and everything this weekend too. And next weekend, well actually, in the next couple days I'll probably start simulating the games. But I probably won't update with you guys on that. You guys don't need to hear about how many bench clearing brawls there were in the first week or who scored a hat trick. Problem areas. Do I have any problem areas? Let's turn it upside down. Do it that way. Go darker. This worked really well to have to use cashew for my darkest darks. I like it. Now I know. I want to do a drawing using hot reds and yellows and oranges. I can use, maybe I'll do another one of these with this kind of color scheme now. Oh, there we go. Let's do this.
Ooh, the trick's going to be where to sign this one. Oh well, figure it out. I've developed a thing once I started doing sketch cards. I like to sign sketch cards on the side rather than signing so it's perpendicular to the way the drawing is set up, or the orientation of the drawing. So I'll probably sign right here. But I didn't leave myself a nice big area to sign, did I? I can go, I didn't get very bold here, but I can go kind of really orange with this, huh? I mean, it's getting pretty darn orange, and I didn't really expect it to work out that way. Let's see here. I don't want to lose my yellows completely, so I got to be careful about that. So let's see, oops, see that kind of happening. I think I'll go back in with some more oranges, or more yellows. So I don't lose them too much. And do I want to go in with a black liner? I'm not really sure if I do or not. Something I don't like in that area of the hair, but I think I can still fix it. Maybe I can wrap it, even if I dink around. So this is, I would say it's pretty much, I could call it good at this point. Do some white highlights and then call it good. But I think I'm going to look at the clock and go, I'm 47 minutes in, and I'm just going to not worry about the time so much and dink around a little bit more and have fun with it. Try and add a little more detail and be done within an hour. So I think I'm going to do this possibly even every day during spring break. Have a new ArtCast video like this one. Because I've got the opportunity to do it, the time at home alone. Usually, when I get home from work, I just shoot a quick 10-minute video or whatever, updating kind of what I've got done or what I'm working on. And I think I'm going to take advantage of the chance that I've got this week and do more longer ArtCasts. I think a lot of people seem to like those better, especially artists who are watching it while they are listening, while they are drawing as well. And even the non-artists, I think, don't necessarily have to watch the whole thing and can skip around. So I think they even like those better too than the short ones where I'm just talking. That's why I was saying I might even start doing something where even on my 10 or 15 minute videos, I'm drawing the pencil portion for a card like this or something. So I'm still drawing even on those. This is just thinking out loud. I'm thinking about starting to do it that way, or do it that way more often anyway. That one doesn't really want to go there, does it? I'm hoping, as I draw in these white highlights, that I can then go back over some of them with the markers and that they'll pick up the new marker color. In other words, like, let's see, so there's a yellow that I missed out on here. And I'm going to try and make it yellow again. Or this strand right here should be yellow. If it doesn't work, it'll be fine. It'll be fine still. But the eyes seem so familiar. Like phosphorescent desert buttons. Let's see, one familiar song.
So yeah, I do need to go in a little more on the eyes here, and I'm not quite sure what I want to do, but it has to be good. It has to be accurate and make Ronda look like Ronda. And I really want to stick to this brown, but it's too big. I need a finer point too, so I might have to go in with my black, whatever, black liner pen, multi-liner. I'm making a cross-eyed, huh? Let's go. Ooh. That's what I'm talking about. You guys can't tell because it seems really minor, but that like bled. I think it looks alright though. So I'll pick and choose. I'll have to look at what I can do on an art cast. Some of them will be black and white. Actually, probably most of them will. But I also I'll do at least one more of the working hangout with the other artists in the morning. So I'll get my drawing in that way for sure. Does that work? Not really, huh? It's not terrible though. No, it's not picking up the yellow like I wanted it to. Ah, phooey. Shucks. Looks better with the orange there for sure. I don't want to make, well, never mind. I'm not going to touch that one. Some things you just shouldn't talk about. I'm just kidding. It's not like it's a big, made it sound like there's some big thing. Alright. Pretty close, pretty close. Let's go with the black now. Oh, I see a spot. Gotta get this dark on the lips. Don't be afraid. Gotta go for it. Ooh, see? I was afraid and should have been more afraid. Sorry for the long pause, guys. I'm thinking. I'm concentrating while I work. That's one kind of nice thing about the artist hangout things, is that you can have those long lulls where you're not talking. I noticed that I do that. Be like, I don't even know what these guys been talking about, because all of a sudden I'm just drawing away, having a great time. Oops, getting off screen too. I need a table that's so mine tilts back and forth like that. See that? That's the only tilting it does, and I need one that stays put. My drawing's always sliding. I want to tilt it a little more flat so it's not always sliding like that. I gotta be careful here. I don't want to draw in the details too much because they're not really there. You can see in the shadows that there's some eyelashes there, but you can't see the eyelashes themselves. And there we go. I got another, so I'm drawing Ronda here. I have another 2 more Rondas I'll be drawing probably this week. Did I tell? Oh, I didn't even tell you guys. I'm losing track of my thoughts to that extent. So I started talking about the guy who commissioned this, but I also have a new customer who's commissioning me to do several, probably like 10 or more, MMA drawings. So a lot of the ones I'll be doing this week are going to be MMA. Ronda, a couple nice legends like Ken Shamrock, Hoist Gracie, Tank Abbott. We'll see. Maybe keep some surprises. I'll do at least one of those on an art cast too, so I can show that guy in particular. Oh, I know something I need to talk about, but maybe I need to give it more time than what I got. Nah, I can take as long as I want. So this is something that keeps coming up more and more for me. And this week it is less urgent or less relevant than usual. But if you guys want a commission, I can almost guarantee you'll get it faster if you choose black and white. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But I'm just finding more and more that I can take my markers with me wherever I go if I'm doing black and white. And so those kind of sometimes will jump ahead, so I'm kind of backlogged on color work. Oops. I've got probably 10 or 15 cards penciled and ready for markers. Well, less than that because I just finished 3 of them already today. But because I have so many color ones to do, and color takes a little bit longer, but it's more that it takes the right set of circumstances is the reason that it takes me longer to get to them. Because I usually am not going to do a full color one on an art cast unless there's a particular reason I want to. I would prefer to do black and whites on my art casts until I get used to talking and drawing a little more. I've mentioned I don't like to be fishing around for markers and trying to figure out what the next marker I want to grab is because I'm doing some full color thing and it's giving me fits. I'd rather do something either black and white, or even like this was a lot more limited in the colors I'm doing, so that it was a little easier for me to do it while I was, draw it while I'm talking and whatever without taking too long to figure out what markers I'm going to use. And that's all that sort of thing. But I'm finding myself more and more leaning towards the black and white stuff. And that goes a little bit back to what I was saying earlier, that I'm finding myself wanting to explore less because I'm getting to the point where I can take my gray markers to work or over to my mom's house if I'm over there, or I even did one at a buddy's house with the UFC a couple weeks ago. So I'm just finding that I keep going more and more towards the black and whites. It's just a little more convenient. Need to look at this and see if I need anything else. Get my darkest darks in. But I think this is pretty darn close to done, and I'll probably at least post this one up today on Facebook. I'd like to get at least one drawing up, and evidence that I'm getting stuff done this break. I actually think, having done this card, that I could do a lot quicker the next time with these colors and skip some of the marker choices that I used and go straight to the ones that I used more, if that makes sense. Like I could probably do this with 5 different markers, and I used about 6, 10. I don't need 10, right? How those eyes look? It looks pretty close, right? I always end up seeing something later, so I'm not going to call it completely done, but it's pretty darn close. And so I think I'm going to call it done as far as the video is concerned. Call this Artcast done. Give her a highlight that I can't really see there. A lot of times with eyes you can cheat that a little bit. And sometimes when you see a whole bunch of highlights on the eyes, it's better to just pick one still, so it doesn't confuse your light source and that sort of thing, I think is why. Sometimes I know the rule, but I don't really know why. That's one of those cases. And sometimes I don't know the rule and I feel like it's better that I don't, because I then end up drawing what I see instead of following some rule. I'm going to bring in one more here. This is actually a brown multiliner that I'm starting to use more. I've had it for a while. I'm finding more uses for it. And this I think is a perfect one. I don't know if you can even tell the difference between brown and black, but some of these strands, it seems like they don't need black, but they need to be there. So I'll use my nice brown one. Maybe I should, Ronda, like I said, is a hot item right now. Maybe I should just throw this straight on eBay and not sell it to that one guy. I'm kidding, I would not do that. I kid. But if you want one like it, I think I have one more Leaf Artist Proof. I'm not actually positive. I have Artist Proofs right now available for Leaf Hockey. I know I have another one still. Grimm, I have several. And Pastime Baseball, I have several. I think that might be it for my blanks currently. Alright. I feel like this was maybe not my most interesting Artcast in terms of what I talked about. Like I didn't have a real good topic in mind. I just kind of was drawing more concentrating on the drawing. But I do feel like in terms of the drawing, it was pretty much what I wanted it to be. Did it within a reasonable amount of time, and I think I'm happy with the result. So there it is. Like I said, I'll probably dink around with it a little bit more. Make sure I got all the shapes right. I always see a couple things, and I see a couple things as I'm looking at it, but I'm mostly happy with it, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I will catch you guys tomorrow if you care to watch me draw again. Alright, later. I'm Bradu, by the way. I gotta say this. Day 51 of 100 days of sketch cards. I missed my big milestone 50 halfway there. I skipped it. How bad is that? So, yesterday was day 50 and I didn't even do anything. So this is my big celebration. Yay, I'm halfway there. Woo! Yeah.